Eskom CEO Andre Ruyter has just spoken today at a briefing. What the Eskom management is calling the state of the system update is what they're giving this afternoon. Ruyter did apologize for load shedding as he confirmed that we will again have to deal with stage 2 blackouts from 5 p.m. this afternoon. Let's get you more on the briefing. We can speak now to our business reporter Kopano Gumbi, who's been watching it. And Kopano, what stood out for you having covered so many of these briefings?
Absolutely, Tembegile. I think the most important thing is that the number of load shedding days that we have experienced in just these last 5 months has been 31 days. That's an entire month of load shedding over the course of the last 5 months. That's higher than we've seen before, and we're tracking towards getting even higher load shedding numbers as we head towards the winter season. A very interesting footnote that was left at the bottom of the presentation from Eskom telling us that in this financial year of 2022, so now year ended March of this year, there have been 65 days in total of load shedding. That is the second highest number of load shedding days that we have had in South Africa since load shedding started. Very, very worrying, and a very worrying trend given that they cannot get the system right. We had Andre Ruyter, heard him earlier, telling us a little bit about what's going on at Eskom, but this is quite interesting of him to say that we should not get used to the idea of load shedding. Let's hear him.
I think it's important to emphasize that we should not accept load shedding and the lack of generation capacity as the new normal. While it's been going on for 14 years now, we need to take urgent steps to address load shedding. From an Eskom perspective, we have therefore welcomed the initiative by the DMRE to issue bid window 5 and 6. We're working very closely with the DMRE as well as with the IPP office to accelerate and expedite the implementation of these projects. It is in our interest as an electricity utility to make sure that we can bring online as quickly as possible this additional capacity.
And Kopano, where are we as far as how much power Eskom is actually generating? Because there's clearly a shortfall, because this week alone, we've had 3 straight days of these power cuts. Absolutely,
and we heard, in fact, from Jan Oberholzer, the Chief Operating Officer of Eskom, right now, just telling us that that a very important, all-important figure, the energy availability factor, essentially how much power Eskom can generate through its various power stations and the renewable energy that is available. That figure is decreasing year on year instead of increasing. So this year, experiencing 62% of all the available power. That was all that we could get out of the Eskom systems, just 62%. Their target somewhere in the 75 and 80% range. So a long way from getting to where they need to be. This tells us, in fact, Tembegile, that the number of power stations that are generating or working at full capacity is decreasing. Despite the fact that they have continued on their maintenance plan, it does not seem like the available power is getting any better. And so the unplanned risks are increasing on the daily. And we're seeing that not just with the load shedding numbers, but with the amount of power that Eskom is able to generate from its existing plants before it gets to using its renewable resources and the what they call the open cylinder gas turbine. So that is the diesel that they use to keep our lights on. Before they even get to that, we're seeing less and less power being generated from these coal-fired plants, Tembegile.
We've also been hearing quickly, Kopano, about the impact of theft and vandalism on the grid.
That continues to be a concern, not just that they're stealing the cables that are moving electricity, but many people continue to bridge as they cannot afford to pay for power in the way that we do. We know their municipal debt as well at Eskom is significantly high. This is one of those reasons. And so they're trying to get a handle on the theft. They had appointed a whole new task team and hired more help in terms of security to get the power or the theft of cables under control, but it doesn't seem to be taking off just yet.
Thank you very much for that, Kopano Gumbi, our business reporter, updating us on that briefing by Eskom, where the CEO and COO have been speaking.